Good afternoon from Media City and welcome to Salford Now. I'm Lee Folks.
And I'm Matt Cunningham. On today's programme, first tonight, the crisis in the supply chain.
We take a look at one of Salford's most creative recycling initiatives.
Because we work outside, we've always been very conscious of things that are happening, and I think that it's a really good way of just drawing people's attention to it in a bit of a creative way.
HGV drivers are being trained in Swinton in response to the national shortage.
20 years on, the people of Salford come together to remember the Battle of Bexley Square.
It's really important because, as many people will know, the Battle of Bexley Square was a day 90 years ago to this day where people from across Salford marched to what was then the town hall to protest against the means testing of unemployment benefits and the taking away of the winter coal allowance.
First tonight, the crisis in the supply chain for food and petrol has impacted thousands of us across our city, and it could be a long road to recovery.
Today, Prime Minister Boris Johnson revealed fewer than half of the emergency visas for foreign lorry drivers have been taken up.
Our reporter Sam Ketch has been at the HGV Instruction Academy in Salford. And Sam, what have you found out for us?
Thank you, Matt. So I was in Swinton today at a HGV training instruction place, and what the instructors there were telling me was that they feel that there is not necessarily a shortage of drivers, but that actually what they're doing is only one leg of the journey. So they'll be taking stock from one place down to, for example, Southampton, dropping it off, and then on the leg back, not taking anything with them. Now, that is obviously a massive problem. You can halve the problems that we're facing in terms of the stock issues if you just load those lorries back up on the other journey. Now, 10 years ago, the average age of an HGV lorry driver was 55. So clearly this crisis has been coming, but no fix has been in place. Now the people training are younger, more diverse, and actually a lot of people are retraining from other industries. Warehouse workers, farmers, things like that are coming in to drive lorries now, which is probably beneficial for the industry. One of the particular things that I was told was that drivers actually want more respect on the roads. Now, when they get to service stations previously, they would be offered drinks and food as they were filling up for petrol. But currently, it's almost like they're not allowed in because of, wanting other people to get that petrol instead of them. So I think the real issue that they were talking about isn't a shortage of drivers necessarily, as we've been told, but that they need to fill those lorries back up for another journey on the way back. Niamh, next
Thanks for that, Sam. An event to commemorate the 90th anniversary of the Battle of Bexley Square took place last weekend.
Salford MP Rebecca Long-Bailey attended the event, paying respects to the 10,000 people who took to the streets.
Our reporter Josh Warren has more.
Salford and Manchester Trade Unions Council and members of the public congregated in Salford's Bexley Square to commemorate the 90th anniversary of the historic events. Salford MP Rebecca Long-Bailey spoke at the event and highlighted the importance of remembering the occasion.
The Battle of Bexley Square was a day 90 years ago to this day where people from across Salford marched to what was then the town hall to protest against the means testing of unemployment benefits and the taking away of the winter coal allowance. It was a time of extreme poverty and unemployment, and people were suffering, and they were met with fierce violence. Police on horses beat them to the ground just for trying to hand in a petition. And as we know, as the years went on, people came after them to fight for a better life through our trade union movement, and they struggled. Many were blacklisted, but the result of all of that struggle has been workers' rights, it's been weekends, it was decent rates of pay.
Yeah, we're here to commemorate the what was called the Battle of Bexley Square in 1931. It's the 90th anniversary, and we're here to commemorate the men who were basically beaten to the ground by the police on horseback in this very square. And we actually have a horse behind us now, inappropriately put in my opinion, because it's a place where men were beaten in the ground, were just asking for work in 1931 because of the introduction of the means test and the cuts in benefits. Plus, of course, being no work available for people to work. Very, very hard time for the people of Salford, and many suffered through the injustice of these cuts.
Although workers' rights have dramatically been bettered over the past 40 years, Rebecca Long-Bailey and Evan Pritchard underlined some of the setbacks that they have faced.
From about 1980 onwards, when we had a government under Margaret Thatcher, they were very much focused on destroying the trade unions and driving down pay and terms and conditions, and that's something that's definitely been fast-tracked really by the existing government that we've got now. So everything that we've won in the past is up for grabs by this Tory government. We've got to remember that. So we're not just fighting for a better life in addition to what we've got now, we're trying to stop them from taking away the very things that we struggled for in the first place.
Tragic events like the Battle of Bexley Square are hopefully things of the past in British politics, but as Rebecca Long-Bailey suggests, there are still improvements that could be made for workers' rights. Josh Warren, Keys News.
Now let's see what else is going on in Salford.
10 new homes have been built in Salford as part of the government's Rough Sleeping Accommodation programme. They will house those who were previously homeless for a maximum of 2 years.
Salford's first zero-waste shop has hosted its first clothes swapping event. The eco-friendly idea aims to help shrink our carbon footprint through shopping more sustainably.
Over £3,000 has been donated to Salford-based charity Wood Street Mission. The donation came from David Blake, who raised the money after running the London Marathon in just over 4 hours. In an area dominated by rubbish and fly tipping, Walk the Plank have been encouraging eco-savvy residents to get their craft on with their recycling.
The group opened their doors for the first time in over a year for the event, and our reporter Harriet Haywood went down to see how creative they could get.
Reduce, reuse and recycle. It doesn't have to be boring, and that's what Walk the Plank have proven today. The What a Load of Rubbish event is encouraging children to play and find creative ways to recycle.
I actually thought of bottle tops and lids, just basically that these always get left behind and there's nowhere for them to go. So we're trying to make our garden ornaments. And we've got our rocks and we hide them around the local area for the kids to find. Certain ones will put certain prizes on, so when they find them they've got to come back to us and they'll get a prize for finding it. So also get some outdoors as well.
But it isn't just about the crafts. The activities also help to teach about food waste by encouraging everyone to eat all the food.
We are going to cook some delicious food. Karai chicken. We've got some chicken kebabs, we've got some fish tikka kebabs, we've got some chickpea curry for vegan, vegetarian people. With that we have some rotis and rice and some salad. Just being healthy a little bit as well.
And there really wasn't much left before two time travellers stopped by.
We're here today at Cobden Works to deliver a performance for children and young people and their families called the Old Green Time Machine. So it's dance theatre. We sort of tell the story of two time travellers who come back to save the planet from plastic and pollution destruction.
But amongst the food, crafts, giant sculptures and lots of dancing, there was a very important message to be heard.
Why is it so important to put this emphasis, especially on like the environment and recycling?
Well, that is a good question. It's something we are thinking about more and more, and particularly because we work outside, we've always been very conscious of things that are happening, and I think that it's a really good way of just drawing people's attention to it in a bit of a creative way.
It's been reported in 2020 that only 45% of Salford's waste was recycled, which is one of the lowest in Greater Manchester. But as we've seen here today, with a little bit of creativity and crafts, anyone can take a step in the right direction.
Today's weather in Salford is gloomy with light rain and a gentle breeze throughout the day, with a high of 11 degrees Celsius and a low of 8.
However, sunny spells are expected tomorrow with highs of 14.
Now, that's all we have time for today. So, from us at Salford Now, goodbye.
If you want to find more, check out our socials at Salford Now or our website salfordnow.co.uk.